Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to be together on this Friday evening. We note that it is the last Shabbat of the year, 5780, and that this time next week we will be marking Erev Rosh Hashanah as we enter a new year. And so we savor in an extra special way, perhaps, the opportunity to just breathe in and to pause and to reflect and to reappreciate what fills our lives and what gives us meaning. As we prepare to enter Shabbat, we prepare to greet each other, and we start with those of us who put the service together, and also want to give the Sigal family a chance on the occasion of Luke's Bar Mitzvah to greet us as well. We go to Olivia, Molly, Don.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Molly May, cantorial soloist, and I'm so glad to be with you all this Shabbat. Really excited for Luke and for his family. And I invite you to get your candles and your Kiddush cups and your challah so that we can bring in Shabbat together.
Hi, I'm Olivia Tucker, running tech tonight. If you're having any issues, you can let me know in the chat. Same goes for if you're watching on YouTube today. And also look to the chat for our prayer book, where you'll find a link to the prayer book online as a flip book and the page numbers that we're on. Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom, I'm Don McGann, music director. I'll be accompanying you this evening, and as it's good not only to be with the Sigal family for Luke's Bar Mitzvah, it is so good to be together with you right here and right now. So would you please join me on page 10 with Hini Matov. These are the tunes that I think you know pretty well. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, 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 שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, ידדי ידדי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, ידדי ידדי. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Draft. Thought I might get through the whole service without doing that. We go down to the heart of Squirrel Hill and the Sigal family for our candle lighting. Justin and Megan and Luke and family. Oh, we need the blessing. That's what we're waiting for. We'll share it with you. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech
haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner.
shel has.
Amen.
Amen.
Shalom. Thank you. And back to Molly. A bit of song.
So from Psalm 96, Shir Chadash, sing a new song. It's on page 13 or on page 344. On page 20, we welcome the beauty of Shabbat. We welcome the beauty of Shabbat, beautiful as a bride. And we're going to be doing verses 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9.
This is the riskiest part of the service. This is where everyone is invited to unmute themselves and offer greetings to each other. And we greet each other with Shabbat Shalom. And how good it is to see each other after some time.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everybody.
shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everybody.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Linda, Alan.
Shabbat shalom, Tim.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom,
Hi,
Mindy.
Tim. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Jay.
Shabbat
Yeah, how are you?
Bob, Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everybody.
shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Rabbi, Molly,
Shalom. All right.
everybody.
All right. Good night, John Boy. We go back to Molly. After Waltons. Good night, John Boy. Molly.
Be strong, Tim.
Ms. Morshir, page 20.
The Psalm for Shabbat, page 22. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, transitioning from Kabbalat Shabbat to the evening service with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי זכור בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו Amen. Together we rise in body or spirit for the Barhu, the call to worship. And as we are only a week away from the high holidays, we're going to be doing the Barhu in the high holiday evening Nusach this evening.
Baruch Adonai
page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names we bear, teach us Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet we struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for each of us. Did you intend the struggle for us too? Do not let us struggle alone. Help us to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead us into your mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, but there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אליך.
אדוני את יעקב, וגאלם יד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
In the middle of page 43 of our prayer books, give us a place to rest, Adonai our God, bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all whom we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Shalom Aleichem.
And turning ahead one page, we join together in V'shamru. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. B'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
We continue with the tefillah. We start with an opening meditation on page 46 and with a slide, and we continue on our own through the bottom of page 62. We rise in body or spirit. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Adonai, sefataytika, ufi agiti latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la. Middle of page 62.
We come now to the Misha Berach. The text is found on page 253 in the center of the page. The Misha Berach is our prayer of hope and healing, renewal and peace as we pause to consider those around us, those in our families, our circle of friends, within our congregation, the country, around the world, those of whom we are aware, in need of healing and hope, rest and peace. We have names that have been provided that we share it. We invite you to share also those whom you wish to have read aloud in the chat, and we'll circle back and include them as well. In addition to so many others, we are mindful of Lester and Nancy Berkowitz, Millard Balloon, Jacob Blake, Kate Brody, Olivia Burton, Carla Phillip, Peter and Tim Flokos, Naum Kaplan, Lee Kramer, Miranda Larson, Carolyn McDowell, Millie Mon, Lev Podorovsky, Ruth Rubenstein, Cantor Michelle Gray Schaefer, Pat Schur, Cantor Moshe Taube. We think also of Rick Iode and Imelda Darwish, Joel Berg and Jim Littman, Sam Spitz, Rosalind Garvin. Are there any other names anyone wishes to share? Those named and unnamed, we share for them, with them in mind, our Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, VaYaakov. Misha Berach Av Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and be strengthened by the power of your love. Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, VaYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our
So I want to share a story with you by way of introducing you to an aspect of the Torah portion that you may or may not be familiar with. It's a story that involves me and my two sons. When they were a bit younger, we were standing at the corner of Forbes and Murray. The library was just behind us. We were staring across the intersection toward the Cold Stone Ice Creamery, and we were holding each of their little hands as we're waiting for the light to change, and a woman ambles up and stands next to us, and she's going to proceed across the intersection, across Forbes Avenue, as we're prepared to do. And she looks at me and says, "You look very familiar." And I say, I get that a lot. She says, no, you look very familiar. Don't tell me. I know. Just as the light was about to change, she says, "No offense, but you look very much like Rabbi Bisno." Now, I don't know what to do with that exactly, but the story I'm able to repeat often because it is an echo of the old Jewish joke about the two Jews who meet and they look familiar to one another, but they can't quite place where they met, and they go through their college story, and they go through the summer camps they each attended, and they go through who their cousins used to date at various campuses around the country, and they can't seem to put their finger on it. They can't solve this game of Jewish geography until one of them says, "Well, we were both at Mount Sinai." And the other fellow says, "Yes, but you were wearing something completely different." There is, a website, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. There's a website that's called sawyouatsinai.com. And it is a dating site for Jews. They describe thousands of Jewish singles of various cultures, backgrounds, ages, and interests. Essentially, like literally all kinds of Jews. An echo, of course, of the tradition that comes out of this week's Torah portion, Nitzavim, which Luke will share with us tomorrow, which is so significant a Torah portion that among all the 54 Torah portions, this is the one that's selected to be read on Yom Kippur Day, because it is the portion that it's called Nitzavim because it begins, Atem Nitzavim Hayom. Olivia had the quote up earlier with that beautiful artwork. All of you stand together this day, and then the people are enumerated, all the different categories of folks, and it's a wide swath of people, and indeed, rhetorically, it's the entirety of the community, the men, the women, the children, the wood chopper and the water drawer, and the elders and the youngins, and everybody is involved in that event, and so gives rise to the tradition that says we were all of us at Mount Sinai, not only all of those who were in attendance on that day, but all of those who subsequently enter into the Jewish community, not just the men or the elders, but everyone in that community, and not just those who were there according to tradition, but also all of us who are here. And not just that, but just this past week, Rabbi Henry shared with our staff at a general meeting that she had completed her 5th conversion to Judaism, the 5th individual with whom she had worked this summer, 4 adults and an infant, and that these 5 individuals also, the tradition understands, to have been at Mount Sinai, as was the generation that went forth from Egypt. And so, as we enter the year, prepare in a week's time to enter the year 5781, everyone who is today a member of the Jewish community, whatever background or interest or whatever self-definition, they too are understood to have been at Mount Sinai. Which is why perhaps to Jews, other Jews look so familiar, and why Jewish jokes told around the world are universal. We share a common story. That's not only true of Jews, but as Isaac Bashevis Singer said in the family Muscat, the Jews are just like everybody else, only more so. And so it is that we share a common story. In fact, the story to which the opening verses of Luke's Torah portion make reference, Nitzavim, is a Torah portion that is so significant, we said, is read on Yom Kippur. The opening words in the Torah portion tell us that all the people gathered around the base of Mount Sinai, all of us were there, and not only all of us, which is to say each and every one of us, but significantly this story has the entire community entering into or experiencing the theophany, the experience of God, the hearing the lightning, seeing the thunder. I use that syntax deliberately. That's how the Torah portion describes it. Everyone who was present had the same experience, and therein Judaism makes itself distinct and unique among all the faith traditions of the world that have a revealed tradition, a source that comes from a divine author. In every other such tradition, there is a divine revelation. It's given to a special individual, and that individual then goes on to spread the good word or to share the news or to bring people to the truth. But Judaism alone posits a story in which the entire community enters into the covenant as one. And that's what we read about in the opening verses of this week's Torah portion. Specifically, the Torah portion teaches us that not only is each and every individual part of the covenant, but the covenant only works if we include everybody within it. All the people present for the revelation, for the cutting of the covenant with God and a particular people, everyone who was there and everyone who is here. The entire community that came out of Egypt was present, and all of us who are entering this new year together, similarly, are responsible to and for each other. And so it is that each of us present here and there, here to receive and to enter into the relationship with Torah, the covenant with God, truth and revelation, with self, and with all of creation and all of time. And so as we enter this final week of 5780 and anticipate the new year, the celebration of Erev Rosh Hashanah at Shabbat this time next week, let us savor these final days, even these final hours of the year, a year we may wish to leave behind, but which I remind you, as we reflect back, last Rosh Hashanah, we looked into a new year, and the first 6 months of it was, as we would describe it now, normal, or as we wish it could be again, or so we tell ourselves. And the second 6 months, that is to say, from Rosh Hashanah to Passover, it was the first half of 5780, and it was, as we recall it in our mind's eye, nostalgically. And the second half from Passover to now is the second half. And they are juxtaposed one against the other, and we are invited to think seriously about the ways in which we wish it were then and the ways in which we understand it can never be that again, that we have a responsibility to improve upon it. For we appreciate that the virus that has spread around the world, the contagion that has been so pernicious, has not created the realities that we are experiencing now, but has exposed them, has exacerbated them, has accelerated the problems, and now they are ours to together solve. As we prepare to enter the year 5781, this is a time now for reflecting upon and reaffirming for ourselves the relationships, the connections, the responsibilities that we have to those who precede us, to those with whom we share our days presently, and to all who will follow us and will learn and live by our example. May we make good choices, and may we take this time for reflection seriously, that the new year be a blessing for all. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova.
Shabbat Shalom once again. I invite you to turn to page 282 as we prepare to bring our service to a close. This is the Aleinu prayer, and Aleinu means that it's on us. So we rise as we're able in body or spirit, and we face towards the east. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו ושמו
invite you to remain standing as you may be able as we share together the ancient hallowed words and rhythms of our Kaddish, as we turn our thought to those who have departed this earth, those whose memories are a blessing to us. In particular, we recall those taken from our midst, but not our hearts in these most recent days, as well as those, the anniversary of whose passing we mark with yahrzeit. We remember now, and we invite you to share names of those you'd like to have shared aloud in the chat. We remember now William Cohen, Cantor Gladys Grunwald, Barbara Marlene Klein, Violet Marcus, Marjorie Grossman Mazer, Rabbi Shai Ohayon, Melanie Schmidt, Alan Silberman, Eric Springer. We remember as well Barbara Clayton, Elizabeth Gelman, Ruth Ann Klein, Myrna Cobry, Rita Perlo Lang, Malcolm McCormick, Shezyav Redkevich, and Herman Snyder. Other names? Anyone wishes us to share aloud, you might put them in the chat. Otherwise, please know we offer this Kaddish for those we've named and those whose names we have not shared, and all those whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, Alma divra chirute v'omlit malchute, v'chayechon uv'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal, shmei d'kudsha rifu. La'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, ta'amiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and let us say once more, Amen. Please be seated as you may be standing.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm going to share some announcements for our coming week. Anything we're talking about on Zoom, you can find the links in your Shalomogram, the Monday email, and for Shabbat services, the Friday email. If you'd like to receive those and you're not, please give me an email at tucker@rodefshalom.org, and we'll have you added to the list. Shabbat morning, tomorrow morning, we are back at 10:30 a.m. through the link in the emails with our Bar Mitzvah Luke Sigal. It's going to be really wonderful. Stick around after both services tonight and tomorrow morning for a virtual oneg. Come off the mute and say hi to good friends. Tomorrow morning before the service at 9:15 is Lashon Hara. It's the second session. And this is about holy speech and unholy speech. Lashon Hara, the evil tongue, and how to be better in community. Of course, we have our High Holidays website up and going, rschighholidays.org. That's High Holidays with a Y here. For the schedule, sign up for register for the Zoom events, plan out what things you want to come to. And if you're going to pick up a prayer book, that our pickups are Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You can also make your Biblical Garden Fall Fundraiser pickup at the same time. And if picking up a book in person is not something that's available to you at any time, please reach out to our president, Karen Green, who will be able to coordinate volunteers getting you a High Holiday prayer book for this. This information is also in the shalomograms. If you're trying to capture it all down, just letting you know that it's there too. Tomorrow night, we are really excited to be joining with Tree of Life for Slichot. Slichot is the last Saturday before Rosh Hashanah. It's a reflective service, a nice boost in repentance and that kind of work, soul work. Rabbi Bisno is leading a class before at 7:30 called Laughing in Life's Face. And our own Molly May is going to be part of the Havdalah service. So I will put this link that's on the screen here in the chat so you can follow it and register on that Google link so that you'll be sent the Zoom link. That makes sense? You'll follow this link, fill out your information, you'll get the link for the Slichot service tomorrow night. Okay, please remember to vote. Check out Votes PA to make sure that's all ready to go. And our last announcement for today is a interfaith panel discussion, which our own Rabbi Bisno is part of, called Sin and Forgiveness. This is going to be right after Rosh Hashanah starts, a few days after. And it's an interfaith panel, Jewish, Christian, and Muslim together, talking about these themes of sin and forgiveness. So a lot to learn there and in conversation with each other. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Go now to our president, Karen Breen.
Thank you. Well, Mazel Tov to Luke and to the whole Sigal family. I know that Matthew Falcone will be on the virtual Bima tomorrow to make a real presentation on behalf of the board. I wanted to just share with you all that we've been working hard as lay leadership in collaboration with the rabbis and staff to be able to have in-person Yizkor services. I want to give a special thanks to Bob Rosenthal, who has headed up the task force to frankly pull this off. As by now you should have received a mailing to your house. I hope you opened it. There's information about these in-person Yizkor services, which we will have on Yom Kippur, starting at 1 o'clock, ending at 5 o'clock. We are asking those, or giving priority rather, to those who respond and who sadly have lost someone in the last Jewish year, to be able to be with us in person. But I think there'll be enough spots. We have small, physically distanced, careful services. The last service of the day will be also available by streaming. So I just want to encourage you that if you would like to join us, there's a form to send in. Please do let us know right away so that we can plan these services and be able to have a spot for those who want to participate in person. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Before Luke leads us in Kiddush and Motzi on page 323, we will join together, having already welcomed the Shabbat in the form of a bride. We welcome now the Shabbat angel. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Marchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We go now to the Sigal family and Luke to lead us in the blessings over wine and challah.
Baruch atah Adonai
I'm sorry, Luke. We were getting some rough echo, so I had to mute you for a second, but you should be good now.
Okay, is it good? Yeah. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho, b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehila, למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קדשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מחדש השבת.
Amen. Reward yourself with a sip of wine or juice or whatever you were vibing.
Chug it.
Don't chug it. I'm gonna blessing over bread. Will you lead us?
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
The lechem.
Lachem. I lost it. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Now you can take a bite of the challah. Shabbat shalom. Okay. So we'll unmute and greet each other and
don't throw the pillow near the video.